Good morning and welcome to First Parish Brewster. We are a Unitarian, Universalist, welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socio-economic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your path, may this be a place of rest and restoration on your journey. For those of you who may be first-time visitors this morning, welcome. Welcome on this morning, which we make sacred by our presence together. A big welcome to people streaming. We are so glad you're here. Just wave to them. I am Twinks Hastings, the Director of Lifespan Religious Education. Happy to be welcoming you to the service today with our incredible Children and Youth Ministry Committee, minus Dale, who is downstairs in our nursery. That's these folks. Woo! On this and every Sunday, we welcome the noises, movements, and mirth that little ones bring into our services as they worship with and beside us. We do ask, however, that you silence your cell phones and that all over the age of 4 mask whilst in our buildings. Our services are recorded and available on our YouTube channel, Midweek. In community news announcements, Rev Jessica invites you to live stream the funeral for Penelope Ann on Saturday, February 26th at 1 p.m. The link will be shared in next week's angle. Our President, Susan Smith, will be in attendance to represent all of us. We ask that all others live stream to give Jessica the space to grieve. Join myself and Rev Bran Lennox for a special workshop devoted to centering ourselves with restorative spiritual practices. We will tap into a variety of methods we can use to bring ourselves to a place of restoration, including writing, art, music, meditation, and more. Join one or both sessions in person on Saturday, the 19th from noon till 2, or via Zoom on the 21st from 7 till 8. Pre-registration is encouraged. The link can be found in the angle, or you can email either of us. Welcome to our service today. It is so good to be together. We are going to change things up today, and we're going to invite our children and youth to come down and join us now. Good morning, everybody. You can sit on the carpet, the stairs, wherever you're comfortable. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Hi, friends. So during the pandemic, we started a new tradition in CYM where our check-in is a little different. And in a minute, but not yet, I'm going to invite you all into our tradition. So what we do is, if we are having a real good day, we give a thumbs up check-in. If our day is okay, not good, not bad, we kind of do a thumbs medium check-in. And if we are just having a real bad day, we do a thumbs down check-in. So let's all check in. How is our day? Thumbs good, thumbs medium, thumbs bad. All right. So you can all look at your friends and neighbors, see what kind of day they're having, and just silently check in with each other. How are we all doing back here? Sounds good? All right. Is there anyone who would like to light our chalice down here? Okay, come up. Elenita's going to help you. You can come, Edie. Elenita's going to help you, okay? This morning we light our chalice for the good days, the days where our moods are light, laughter comes easily, and the sun is shining. We also light our chalice for our medium days, where life just is. Not good or bad, just in that middle place of stillness and ease, unsureness and mystery. And finally, we light our chalice for the thumbs down days, those days where we would just rather stay in bed, where our hearts hurt and our spirits sag. In lighting our chalice this morning, we acknowledge all the feelings, welcome all of them in this place, and hold each other with care, compassion, and kindness as we make our way through this morning together. This morning we also light our candle for Rev Jessica's beloved Penelope Ann, for the joy and grief of her sweet, precious, short life. Thank you. And thank you, Edie. So let's join in our first hymn, Gathered Here. We're going to sing it 4 times. The first 2 times with our voices and our hand actions. The 3rd time with just our hands. And then the 4th time with our voices and hands together. Let's rise. Just our hands.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Elenita. I don't know all of you, but I hope to eventually. And this is Judy. And I have a question that maybe everybody knows the answer to. Can anybody up here tell me what tomorrow is? It's kind of a special day. Valentine's Day, it is indeed. And what's Valentine's Day all about?
Feeling love.
Pardon?
Feeling love.
Feeling love, good.
My little brother's birthday is on Valentine's Day, and it's all about sharing love.
It is. And happy birthday, Evan. That's great. How old are you going to be, Evan?
5.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, one of the things that happens on Valentine's Day is we get to eat a lot of candy. And I think, if we think about it, most of our holidays were invented just so we could eat a lot of candy, right? Christmas, Easter. So I have a little box of candy here, and these are called conversation hearts. Can you tell me what a conversation is? Anybody? Evan?
It's when you're talking to somebody and they talk back to you.
Okay, when you talk to somebody and they talk back. So these hearts have a one-way message. And I'm going to hand them out, and we're going to see what they say.
Take a long time. What does yours say?
I don't know.
Is this in code? Oh,
Invisible ink.
TTYL, and what does that mean? Oh, thank you.
A new language.
What does yours say?
Dream.
Dream?
Call me.
What do you want me to call you?
Thank you. I cannot read Daisy.
I think
What does yours say? Can you read? Let me see. What does that say? Let me see. Goat. You're the greatest of all time. What does yours say? Dream.
Yeah.
Dream. Want me to help look at? Let me see. Boy, you need. Can you read it?
Well, like you, I need my glasses.
These are for distance. That won't help.
No, the print, it's, oh, it just says, oh my goodness, what does it say?
Heat?
Heat.
Heat? I don't know. Heat.
I love
Should I
it.
go over to all of them? What does yours say? Let me see. Yours says hug. What does it say?
Hug.
What is yours? Love. Is that love? I think it's love. The L is. It was a little crooked when they printed that and they left the L. No quality control.
Call me.
Call you?
We are love.
What does yours say? Oh, boy, I think you need to return these.
Totes.
Totes?
What is this too?
You ate it? Did you have one? No?
Did you eat yours too?
Oh. Oh, okay. That's all right. What does it say?
Maybe hug me.
Hug me? Oh. It's not like the old days, is it?
Not like the old days. No, not like the candy hearts we remember. So the question is, what if we ran the Candy Heart Factory and had a Unitarian First Parish Brewster Candy Heart Factory? What would we want to put on our candy hearts? What are the messages? Can you think of one?
Share love.
That's beautiful. That's
Love. Always love.
excellent. That's excellent. Somebody else have a message you want to put on a heart? Anybody?
I love you.
I love you is great. That's a really good one. Anybody else have one you want to put on a heart? Oh, yeah, do you have a message? I don't even know how to spell that one. Well, I think back to when I was younger, and I think one of the favorite things we used to say was make love, not war. That's a good Unitarian message. It means snuggle up with somebody you like instead of having a fight. I think that's a good one. Anybody else have any other messages? Well, everybody in the congregation got a heart today, and you can think of a message, pretend it's your candy heart, and write your own message on the heart. And then as we're leaving at the end of the service, maybe you'll want to give your heart and that message to somebody else in the congregation. Okay, kiddos, you all are going to go and make some Valentines. So let's sing our children out. Good morning. I realize that in my enthusiasm for the time for all ages and those candy hearts, I forgot the affirmation. And since I'm the crabby one who wanted it put back in here, I feel like we really need to talk about this. And maybe it's just as well that the kids aren't here. Because if you look at the affirmation as it's printed in your order of service, you will see that some of it is in italics and some of it is in Roman type. This is not a unison affirmation. The part that is in italics is the affirmation of this church. The part that is in the Roman or the straight font is the children's affirmation. It was written for them, and in the old days, it was led by a child and the minister or whoever was conducting the service. It's a call and response affirmation. And I've tried in vain to teach the kids their part, but I keep working on it, and eventually we'll do it again. But I think it would be great if we did it the way it was intended to be written. And so, as we don't have kids here, I'm going to ask the CYM committee to be the children's part, and if the rest of you would read your part, and we will do it as a call and response affirmation as it was intended. You can stand if you like, or you can stay seated. It's fine with me. Whatever is comfortable for you. All right. So, this is the children's part.
We
Believe in love.
Love is the doctrine of this church.
We believe in truth.
The quest for truth is the sacrament.
We believe in helping others.
And service is our prayer.
We believe in the sacredness of life.
To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with God.
Thank you. One time, when I was maybe 12 or 13, I ran away from home. I don't remember why I left, but I had to go. So I snuck out of the house. But I was afraid to go very far. So I went into the woods next to the elementary school across the street from our house. I went to the big tree that we called the place. It was our central rendezvous in those woods, which was Sherwood Forest, when we played endless days of Robin Hood. There was a big rock under the tree, and I settled down there to wait to be found, because, of course, I wanted to be found. I don't know what I took, maybe my bear and a book. That sounds reasonable. And I sat and read. But after a while, I grew more afraid of my father being mad that I had run away than I was about running away, so I decided to pack up and go home. I snuck back into the house. Here's the thing. No one had noticed I was gone. I had to tell them that I had run away. Whatever I hoped to get out of that adventure, I didn't get it. I tell you this because that's as desperate as I ever got when I was a kid, or even a teenager. Yes, I was frequently angry with my parents, and I spent a lot of time on groundation, as our daughter called it. But I never felt the kind of despair that some kids feel. My problems were more of the first world variety than the deep anguish some kids feel over their sexuality, or violence in their home, or substance abuse, or today, the state of the world. That was in the early 60s, prior to John F. Kennedy's assassination. The world felt full of possibilities, and even though I didn't know what my role would be in the world, I felt still there were lots of options. Today, I think our teens live in a very different world. Today, when we talk about the end of the world, we can practically put a date on it. Our teens have lived for 2 years in weird isolation, in a plague that seemed to spread worldwide right before our eyes. All the traditions and events of their teen years have been suddenly suspended, and they find themselves swinging on a trapeze they didn't ask to get on, above a chasm like that one in Star Wars, the one that turned out to be the gullet of an enormous slug-like monster. And unlike Princess Leia and Han and Luke, they don't have a big spaceship to blast them away from the monster and out into a sky full of stars. They may see answers to the problems around them, but they may not see adults taking the problems seriously. They may feel so untethered, so at loose ends, that there is no solid ground under them. High school and middle school students on the Mid and Lower Cape are, right now, this moment, mourning the loss of 4 classmates, 2 of whom are confirmed suicides. 4 teens lost in 2 weeks. I have a really hard time getting my head around that. When I first heard it, I couldn't breathe. And knowing how contagious suicide can be, I was terrified for our particular teens, our First Parish kids, with whom I've been working since our year at Hogwarts, now maybe 4 years ago. I don't know those despairing teens who died, but I do know our teens a little bit, and they are face to face with that despair or a different one. Some are almost paralyzed by fear of COVID. Some are questioning their sexuality or gender identity. Others are struggling with health issues or fears of what comes after high school, or how to relearn the ways of teen social interaction with which they may have been uncomfortable before the pandemic. They are afraid, as teens often are, and as teens often do, they may try to brazen it out and pretend that everything is fine, just fine. I have to tell you that our teens are just so fragile right now. Our particular group of youths is such a special one. They are creative and thoughtful and loving and funny and so terribly shy. It's quite an amazing combination. And if you get to know them, you will love them as I do. I know that it's been hard for all of us these last 2 years, but the fact is we are grown-ups. And I don't know whether to spell that with a W or an A. We have more experience of disaster and crisis. We have more coping mechanisms than our teens do. So they are feeling very fragile. All the teens on the Cape, our teens, our kids. Please keep that in mind when you meet a sullen bagger at the grocery store cash register, or encounter a little gang of kids at the mall, or have your coffee shoved at you by some teenager behind the counter. They are all scared and tired and trying so hard not to show it. Be gentle with them. Say thank you to them by name. Workers all have name tags. Give them a gentle smile behind your mask. It will show in your eyes. And take a moment to look into their eyes with a little love and kindness. It just might help them know that they matter, that their work is important, that their lives count and have promise. It might help them not become a statistic. Thank you.
This is a reading from the Parents' Tao Te Ching, adapted by William Martin from the Tao Te Ching written by Lao Tzu. Children are fascinated by the ordinary and can spend timeless moments watching sunlight play with dust. Their restlessness they learn from you. It is you who are thinking of there when you are here. It is you who thinks of then instead of now. Stop. Your children may frequently change the focus of their attention, but this is not restlessness, it is curiosity. When they are doing something, they are doing only that until they move on to the next thing. Watch them. Let them set the pace. Let your children become the teachers, and you become the student. See what you can learn.
How do we love our CYM children? How do we show up for them? We, members of the CYM committee, have reflected on these questions and are going to share some of our thoughts or pieces of what can be a puzzle. Pieces we believe are elements of a holistic vision of how our children can be loved. It can be tempting to demonstrate our love for children by showering them with presents. Because what kid doesn't want a new toy or game or gadget? The truth is, what kids remember and cherish aren't presents, but adults who have been consistently and fully present and engaged in their moments of togetherness. Being present for our children means focusing on right now, rather than having one's awareness on something in the future or worrying about the past. One of the ways I like to be present with children, and I recommend this heartily, is by playing what I like to call the 3 favorites game. This is an activity which ideally happens during a meal or in a car when there's a captive audience, so to speak. Taking turns, each person recalls and shares 3 things they liked about that day or that trip or that experience. Then the others guess which is that person's favorite. So simple. But the game provides a window into a child's personality, their mood, their preferences, all of which are so valuable for adults who care about them to know, and fosters a genuine desire in them and the other players to know more and more, a springboard for meaningful conversation. So for this piece of the puzzle, I add being present. For my second puzzle piece, I have a confession, or maybe it's a warning. I love playing with kids. When I play with kids, whether it be charades, hide and seek, cornhole, dress up, dancing, board games, things happen in my brain and body, positive things that counter some of the physical and emotional manifestations of the stress that comes with being an adult. So what I found is that I can show up for kids simply by playing with them, and we all benefit. And what's more, it turns out that adults playing with children is one of the most effective tools we have for building strong relationships with children. Play adds joy, vitality, and resilience to relationships. It can heal resentments, disagreements, and hurt. Through play, children learn to trust others and feel safe. I would venture to say that all of these byproducts of play are what we hope for and dream for our children. So for my second piece of the puzzle, I add play.
Morning. My first part of the piece of the puzzle, or my piece of the puzzle, is believe in themselves. For over half my lifetime, I have been involved as an art educator. Over my art room doorway at the Orleans Elementary School, I hung a long sign stating, "Enter with a can-do attitude." I shared the importance with my art students from kindergarten to grade 5 to believe in themselves, thinking with an attitude of can-do instead of ceasing an opportunity with the word no. In late spring, as my 5th graders prepared to move the following September to a place without me as their art teacher, I gave my talk. First, I gave them a card that held within a photo of themselves somewhere in the art room, somewhere in the school with their art. And I also put a handwritten message of our memories over the years that we had shared. Settled in, my talk proceeded. I explained to them that the next art educator may have a different philosophy than mine. An example being one time I told a student to put something on my desk, and they replied, "You have a desk?" Regardless, I urged my 5th graders to continue to believe in themselves, that the art visions and dreams that they held in their hearts and minds belonged to them forever. To above all, continue to believe in themselves. Over my years of teaching art, I have often been asked as to just how my students demonstrated both pride and a sense of accomplishment in their artistic ventures. I reply with a smile that I have observed those attributes exist because my students believe in themselves, as I believe in them, and together we celebrate a can-do attitude. My other sharing is on the power of full listening. I believe the power of full listening is a gift that has a link through sound to connect us, child to child, child to adult, adult to adult. Listening is also a link to our world, nature, knowledge, and those moments when we simply listen to silence. As both a parent and an art educator, I have been a receiver of opportunities to gift myself with full listening. Not just acknowledging with a nod or a but accepting that there is a sound coming at me, a message, a reaching out to engage me in connecting. By listening, I have an opportunity to engage in the experience as simple as a bird's song or as precious as a child's story of the day's events. I have strived to make listening a daily practice, especially with children. In doing so, I allow myself to feel free to request a word, a phrase, a question be repeated if I did not clearly hear it. I have also, in my practice of listening, used honesty to state that sometimes there are too many sounds happening at once to identify a message, and perhaps we need to pause and step back to a better listening environment. And of course, whenever possible, I turn to give my full eye contact to the speaker while I listen. I have found for many children, their voices go unheard in the speed that adults elect to travel through their day. I find myself traveling in my mind to the next thought, my next response, while meanwhile I am missing out on the sharing of a child who is speaking because they want to be heard. Making time to listen, I believe, can open doorways to understanding and connections of trust.
Good morning. My piece is full human being. I'm going to start with a quote from The Once and Future King by T.H. White. The wart, meaning Arthur, did not know that what Merlin was talking about, but he liked him to talk. He did not like the grown-ups who talked down to him, but the ones who went on talking in their usual way, leaving him to leap along in their wake, jumping at meanings, guessing, clutching at known words, and chuckling at complicated jokes as they suddenly dawned. He had the glee of a porpoise, then pouring and leaping through strange seas. When I was growing up, from like 6 to maybe 15, I took sailing lessons. And looking back, that was the most joyous time of my life. Not because I was doing just what I really liked to do, but the people that I was surrounded by, the instructors, took me in under their wings and really cared about me. Not just about sailing, but about me. They would listen. And I vowed that when I became an instructor, if they let me, that I would be just like them. So, and I was. When I taught sailing, I found some of the kids didn't really want to learn how to sail. But it was important for me that they had fun anyway. And we found ourselves in conversations out on the water that had nothing to do with sailing. And it was certainly a way that I could learn about them and who they were. And then I was going to be a teacher, but I ended up doing something else until COVID hit. And I was sort of, I don't know how I got into doing a Zoom for CYM. I think it was my partner that got me into this. But I found in doing CYM and Zoom, I could see the kids all on a screen and really look at them and see who they were. They weren't close to us physically, but They were in the comfort of their homes, and we could talk to them and do our activities, and we could tell if they were having a good day or a bad day or excited about what we were doing. And it was really a time that I really missed, because I really got to know all those kids, maybe 6 or 7 of them, in a way that I normally wouldn't have had I been in a classroom. So I guess now the lecture. The key is that when young people talk, they want people to listen, not to try to fix it, just listen and respond to them in a tone of voice that doesn't sound like you're talking down to them. Listen to them with respect, talk to them as equals. They want to be heard. Active listening is what we practice in our small group ministries. Let's use those same skills with the kids. Sometimes I feel we feel that what do we have to offer them? But maybe it should be, what do they have to offer us? That's why we listen. Once you have a conversation, we will find out what we have to offer each other. Truth be known, I'm not a schmoozer. That's why I do coffee, so I don't have to talk to too many people. But if you find a topic I'm interested in, I will talk your ear off. And when I talk to a kid who doesn't respond right away, I turn into a little kid myself. My feelings are hurt, and I want to walk away. But I don't, because I'm the adult, and I know that they don't mean to be rude. They are just incredibly shy. So please, find out about our kids, then find your connection. It won't happen in one conversation after church, but if we keep at it, it will work. Kids know when our door is open. They can feel it. Let's try to keep our door and our ears open. Really try. Thank you.
My piece of the puzzle is authenticity. I'll start with another reading from the parents' Tao Te Ching, called Your Greatest Legacy. If you want your children to succeed, show them how to fail. If you want them to be happy, show them how to be sad. If you want them to be healthy, show them how to be sick. If you want them to have much, show them how to enjoy little. Parents who hide failure, deny loss, and berate themselves for weakness have nothing to teach their children. But parents who reveal themselves in all of their humanness become heroes. For children look to these parents and learn to love themselves. I am a crier. I am moved to tears by any number of emotions, frustration and anger, beauty and joy, but most of all, grief. At the age of 11, after having lived through the 14-month life, terminal illness, and death of my sister Katie, a dark cloud of existential futility steadily settled upon me throughout my teens, and depression became a lifelong companion. I never received counseling. We didn't talk about it. So I buried my grief in a myriad of maladaptive ways. My children have borne their own early fracturing. Adopted together from Kazakhstan at the ages of 2 and 4, their family history is one of neglect and trauma. Our journey together has been truly difficult and amazing and wonderful. But unlike my experience, we asked for help. We provided them with counseling from the time they arrived, both individually and as a family. When I became a parent, much of what I had buried came to the surface. As a result, my children have witnessed my struggle. They have seen me full of hope and despair. They have seen me succeed and fail. They have seen me try, and they have seen me try again. They have seen my husband pick up the pieces when I cannot. They see me do the same for him. They have seen us argue. They also have seen us apologize and move on lovingly. Over the years, well-meaning people have advised me, just don't let the kids see you crying. Imperfect as we are, let's just say that's not exactly what happens sometimes. I worried for years, and I still do, that my struggles would negatively impact my children. But now, honestly, now ages 16 and 18, they can tell us how they're feeling. They have learned the language of emotional awareness. They can ask for help and apologize. They can say no. They are deeply moved by the beauty of the world. They have a great sense of humor, and they laugh frequently. They're really good friends to each other. And every time they leave the house, they shout, "Bye, Mama, love you." This does not mean I will stop crying. In fact, last week, when the chalice was lit for Penelope Ann, I began to tear up. Still, I joined the children up at the altar when we had the time for all ages in front of the whole congregation. This is just me, I thought. I'm not going to hide in the back. Though I tried to stop, tears continued to flow. And when I joined the children downstairs for our circle, I could see the uncertainty in their faces as they recognized that I had been crying. So I said to them, I realize it might make you feel awkward or uncomfortable that I'm crying, but I want you to know that I'm okay, and I'm just having a sad day. Do you ever have days when you're sad or hurt or angry and you feel just like crying? Well, that's what happened to me today. But I'm here because I really wanted to show up to be with you, and I'm really glad I did. They got it. They relaxed. They laughed. We chatted. Then we went and made prayer paintings in the snow, colorful hearts and smiley faces, sun and waves, flowers and clouds. The joy of being in the moment had returned, and by the time of our end of our time together, when we held hands to cross the street, I was lifted. In our closing circle, Bea even asked if she could sit in my lap for the first time ever. It was so sweet. I almost started to cry.
Thank you all. Aren't our CYM committee amazing? Just got to say it. Each week we have the practice of splitting our offertory plate. Half of what is collected goes to the work of First Parish, and the other half goes to a worthy organisation nominated by someone in our congregation. Today our split plate goes to Cape Cod Children's Place. Founded in 1995, Cape Cod's Children's Place is an organisation dedicated to building resiliency and strength in Cape Cod families, and also providing high-quality early childhood education, advocacy and support to sustain a healthy community for Cape Cod's future. There are a couple of ways you can give today. You can text to give, the number is in your order of service, or you can put cheque or cash in the offertory basket. Or for those streaming in, you can donate on our website. However you choose to give today, your generosity is appreciated. The offertory will now be gratefully received. The music is Child of Mine. It is not the Carole King version. Marie can tell you which version it is.
It's Bill Staines wrote it.
Bill Staines' version. modeling imperfection. Thank you all. How do we really love our children? I've been on a lifelong quest of learning, searching to answer this question, examining best practice, becoming credentialed, working with children and youth for the council in Scotland, for the YMCA, as a private nanny, a babysitter, a volunteer in Girl Scouts behind bars, comfort zone camps, for UU churches in so many roles, as an aunt, a fairy godmother, and most recently as your director of Lifespan Religious Education. And do I have the answer of how do we really love our children? No, and maybe yes. But before we answer the how, we must examine the who and the why. When I'm talking about our children, I'm talking about all of the children in our lives. Our church kids, our grandkids, the kids in our neighborhoods, or the kids that we run into once at the grocery store. All of the children in our world, really. My passion for working with young people has been for a lifetime, starting at 16. So I've worked with a lot of kids in 24 years, across 5 different countries, in many different jobs and roles. And really, I want a better world for all of them. Of course, there is no way to address the many and varied needs of young people across our globe. But when talking about love, I believe it's universal. And so to the why. Why bother? Is loving our children and youth just the right thing to do? Something that we have to do? Part of the social contract? I can't imagine any church committee getting together to write a mission or vision statement that says, we actively don't support children and youth. Think about that. Here at First Parish Imagination, we are an intentionally only adult congregation working for justice, peace, and harmony in our world. Wouldn't happen, right? So we know we are meant to love our children and include our children, and it's sort of a natural thing for most human beings. We hear it often enough from our religious professionals. We feel it in our guts when something bad happens that involves a child or a youth. Whenever I have put out a call for support for food or help for a struggling family, you all have come through so quickly. First Parish supports the CYM program incredibly well financially, and we have worked so hard together as a community towards being more inclusive for our young folks, and we are well along on that path. Still with some work to do, but we are on that path. So we know it, and we feel it, and yet, so often, I hear, when I am looking for volunteers to be with our children and youth, I'm no good with kids. I'm not a kid person. I've done my time with the kids. So I'm left wondering, who is the we that we are hoping is going to build our multi-generational community? And what the heck is a kid person? Our faith takes inspiration from our 6 sources, one of which is the world's religions, and one of which is the Christian and Jewish teachings. Most faiths have something to say in their sacred texts about children and how we must love them. And one of my all-time favorite passages in the Bible is Matthew 10, 1-3, where the disciples are asking Jesus about who is the greatest in heaven. Essentially, they're asking, how will we get to heaven? And Jesus lifts a child from the crowd and plops them down. I believe the actual words are something like, he places the child in their midst and says, truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, the Jesus of my understanding is a pretty rebellious, freedom-fighting, anarchist, activist, And the whole question of heaven is a whole other service for another day. But I love picturing the scene of this verse. A group of adults trying to understand what is the most holy thing, the most sacred thing in the world. And Jesus plonks a snotty-faced, just post-tantruming toddler in the middle of the gathering and says, this is what's most holy. Children are amazing to me. Like really, not just fun or silly or cute, but really, really amazing. Holy. I get labeled as the Pied Piper all the time. Although, was he not stealing the children? I just want to say. Or the kid person, or the so good with kids person. I'm the default babysitter, baby holder. I'm not sad about that. But really, children and youth are my teachers and have been for most of my life. I learn from them. The qualities you all see in me as the kid person, I've come to learn from them. There is no one more qualified in the world to teach about curiosity, play, fun, persistence, exploration, acceptance, innocence, generosity, contentment, and believing than children and young people. And those are the traits that I value in my life and that I aspire to. So when Jesus put that toddler in the middle of the group of folks seeking to know what was most holy, this is what he was saying. If you can really see who a child is, the whole child, and understand that they have as much to teach us as we have to teach them, that in fact being in relationship, mutual relationship of learning, guiding, teaching, being, that is the most holy, the most sacred thing there is. Turn and become like children. Friends, our kids are in trouble. I see it in their faces. I hear it on a community level. The statistics speak for themselves. I'm worried, families are worried, teachers are worried, youth advisors are worried, doctors are worried. Anyone paying attention right now, especially to our tweens and teens, are worried. So how do we really love them? Here's my answer. Firstly, support the hell out of their families. I stay awake at night worrying about these kids that I see once a week. Families are walking this every day. Bring them dinner, wash their kitchen floors, babysit, listen, wipe tears. I don't care. Do whatever you can for these families. But as for loving the kids, here's what it boils down to. Be you and show up. That's it. Just be you and show up. As we were planning this service, I was really trying to encourage all of these folks to share what it is in themselves that is part of the puzzle of loving our kids. But I guess it's really hard to praise yourself. And so as UUs, we tend to intellectualize everything. But really, Laura is just playful by nature, with kids, with adults, doesn't matter. I'm attracted to being with her because I want to play. We all long for play. Kathy is truly someone who makes you believe in yourself. I've learned that from her. And she makes me believe that I'm an artist. I'm looking at some of the art I've made and shaking my head, and Kathy's like, "You're an artist, Twinks." And Kristen is so damn real in every way. It's glorious to watch the kids feel that same permission in her presence. And then there's Judy Fenner, the self-proclaimed non-kid person turned CYM teacher and youth advisor extraordinaire. We have a saying now. What would Judy do? We use this when we get in a pickle because we all recognize Judy can fix things. Judy knows things. And Judy really models how to love our kids. Because Judy is never trying to be a kid person. Judy is just being a person talking to other people. The ages of those people are sort of insignificant, really. Everyone is treated as an equal in her eyes, and as long as you can tie at least one sailing type knot, you are good to go. No one is labeling Judy Fenner as the Pied Piper, and yet Judy is as much a kid person as I am. And so my point is that there are no standards to becoming a kid person, because kids are people like you and me, just people with ideas and gifts and talents and struggles and pain and hearts and hardships, ideas and some truly sound advice. So one way we can truly love our kids is break down that barrier of who gets to be a kid person and who doesn't. Right now, our kids need everybody. And the second part, show up. Our youth are talking about the loss of fellow teens to suicide this week. That's what our 13, 14, and 15-year-olds are talking about, because that is what they have experienced on Cape Cod in their schools multiple times this month. And that is after a string of loss due to the pandemic, including a loss of social and medical support. There are families who have youth in crisis, and I really mean crisis, who cannot find mental health care for their child. The situation is dire, and the fear in professionals that work with teens, and with teens in particular, is that these suicides will become an epidemic and quickly. Please show up. If there's a child in your life who asks you to attend a game, a recital, a talent show, a production of a play they made up in their bedroom, if you can attend, please do. Seek out organizations like Big Brother Big Sisters or Girl Scouts Behind Bars, both of whom are desperately looking for mentors for children and youth in crisis. And yes, volunteer here at church. The CYM committee has been the committee, the teachers, the youth advisors, the secondary nursery person for this entire pandemic. This is kind of like being it. And if you want to know what showing up looks like, look to Elenita. She's done it all. We have welcomed 4 new children and families in this time, when many churches have closed their entire children and youth programming. Because of these folks, and a small band of other volunteers who have turned up, and it's really amazing. First Parish has always been a pillar in our community. We have responded to so many crises and situations over the year. We didn't earn our reputation for no good reason. Right now, the mental health of our youth is an emerging and rapidly growing in front of our eyes crisis. I refuse to let one more Cape Cod youth lose their life needlessly. Because I said right at the start, when I say our children, I mean all of the children. In the next few weeks, there's a growing group of folks mobilizing to do what we can. Different nonprofits, churches, known youth advocates in the community, church leaders, and mental health professionals. But we cannot do this alone. We need folks to be themselves and show up, because really, that's the only way we can fully love. So when I said, do I have an answer? No and yes, I meant it. I certainly don't have all the answers myself. I have my ways of showing up and being with kids, but I have only one section of the puzzle. What I do know, and what his and her story has proved over and over and over again, is that as a community, as individuals who come together, each of us, just being ourselves, has a piece in the puzzle that can make a huge difference. My invitation today for all of you is to turn and become like the children. show up, and be yourself for our kids. Are we ready to turn up and be ourselves? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You can all stay risen for our closing hymn. It's 10:21, Lean on Me.
It won't be long till I know I need somebody to lean on. Brother, if you need a friend, we all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on.
Back to the future.
Right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, lean on me. When you're strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Yeah. Let's reach out our spirits to each other, remembering that we are enough, just who we are, capable of loving, really loving our children and youth. Each of us carries a piece of the puzzle, and without us all, the puzzle will never be complete. Be you, show up. It's life-saving. Blessed be, amen. Go in peace.
I love this song.
Me too.